Matt, I'm bored. I'm really, really bored. I'm not going anywhere in life. I'm probably just going to jump off a bridge. But before I do so, tell me a story.
Alright, well, before you jump off a bridge, we'll get... Well, there's this kid. He used to work with me. We'll call him Edward. This kid he was one of those kids, he looked like a 40-something-year-old man that, he was a kid that basically, he looked horrible for his age. And he was kind of sweaty sometimes. He was kind of, he always had this weird look on his face. And I knew there was something wrong with this kid for a while when I worked with him. I only worked with him briefly. Well, for only like 3 months at least, maybe. And it was the weirdest 3 months ever in the workplace, because I remember one time I was blow drying. I was using the leaf blower to blow off all these bags and all the floor outside on the outside departments. And Edward comes up to me behind me and he says, "That's a nice toy you got there." And I was like, "Oh yeah, man, it's it's all right. It's not." I mean, he's like, "Yeah," and he's like, "Is that yours?" I'm like, "No, it's works, man." And he's like, "Yeah,
Don't trust me with that."
And I was like, "What?" And then he says, he just said it again. Don't trust me with that. And I was like, "All right." And he's like, "Would you, matter of fact, don't trust me with anything that shoots. I'm not good with any of that." And I was like, oh, fuck. He's like, "Yeah, would you trust me with something that shoots?" And I was like, "Well, if you're telling me that, probably not. I don't know, man." And what are you gonna say to him? Like, well, oh, you know what I mean? Last time I ever saw him after he worked, the last time I saw him, working with me, and I ever saw him again, he fucking comes up to me and starts talking to me about random shit, like, yeah, man, I'm getting a new job. And I'm like, "Oh, nice, man. That's cool, And then, he starts talking to me. He's like, "Yeah, man, it's a rough life out there." And I was like, "Yeah, man, life is pretty rough." And he was like, "Yeah, man. Oh, man, life is rough. I'll tell you what. Oh, man, the problem is the way I see it is life is like a game of survival. I consider myself an apex predator." And the moment he said that, I just realized, I was like, apex predator sounds like, I was like, the movie Chronicle, where he tells the guy, he's like, "Oh, I'm an apex predator, remember?"
Yeah, I remember.
And I asked him, I was like, "Oh shit, you're a fan of Chronicle?" He's like, "What? What? No. I'm an apex predator, man. Life is a game of survival, and I consider myself that. Yeah, I am an apex predator. And I have to do what I can. If I have to do something to, I have to do what I can to survive." And I was like, right. So then he tells me this, and I got pissed off, even though it had nothing. The story he told me had nothing to do with me. But he says to me, "Yeah, I work with this guy at my other job. He's a heroin addict, and I knew he was having problems. And he said he was getting clean for it. He was, he had a lot of other, he said he had a lot of other problems. But I told my boss that he was a heroin addict, and he got fired. So I had to get him fired to get that full-time position." And I was like, "So you basically fucking..." And I was like, "Wow, man, that's kind of fucked up." He's like, "Yeah, well, like I said before, I'm an apex predator. I have to do what I can to survive." And
Sounds
I was
like something a serial killer would say.
well, yeah, he very well will probably be a serial killer in the future. I mean, hopefully not, so no one gets killed, but So then he tells me, "Yeah, I consider myself, I identify with the Joker from Batman." And I was like, "Oh, wow."
That sounds like something James Holmes would say.
Well, yeah, exactly, that's the thing. Then I told him, I was like, And this dude, he totally didn't understand any of my struggle. I may say you don't understand my struggle, but this kid, he had struggles where I'm just like, damn, maybe I don't have struggles at all. But so then he says to him that his mom. He told me that his mom passed away, and he's like, yeah, I'm glad my mom died. She was a bitch. My dad's got medical bills up the wazoo, so I gotta pay him with my job. And I was like, well, why don't you just keep 2 jobs? That way, I mean, keep this job, work when you're not working there. He's like, no, you don't understand. I am an apex predator. And I was like, yeah, you said that. He's like, yeah, you don't understand. You know what? No. All right. Would you trust me? And I was like, what? No. Wait, what? He's like, yeah, not a lot of people will trust me. So then I said, I gotta go, man. So I just left. And that was that. It's just weird, like, I hope that kid's alright. He's probably not alright.
Man, after hearing that story from you, knowing that somebody like the apex predator actually exists on this planet, I was gonna go jump off a bridge earlier. I'm still gonna do that now. Sorry, but somebody as stupid and mean and freaking creepy like that guy actually existing, I'm just gonna kill myself.
Dude.